Today's story takes us to Bergen, Norway, a coastal city framed by mountains, fjords, and winding cobblestone streets. Known as the gateway to the fjords, it's a peaceful place that attracts hikers, artists, and travelers from all over the world. But in late November of 1970, Bergen became the stage for a mystery that still haunts Norway to this day. On the afternoon of November 29th, a man set out for a hike with his two young daughters in the rugged Isdalen Valley, a place locals eerily call Death Valley. The name comes from its grim past. Mountaineers have fallen to their deaths here, and in earlier times, it was even a place where people went to end their own lives. As the family climbed deeper into the valley, the daughters noticed something unusual among the rocks. At first, it looked like a pile of charred debris, but as they drew closer, they realized it was the body of a woman, burned, lying flat on her back, with objects scattered strangely around her. The father quickly led his daughters away and reported the discovery. When police arrived, they knew immediately this was no ordinary death. When investigators arrived at the scene, they found the woman's body severely burned. But what stood out most were the objects placed around her. Fragments of clothing with all the labels deliberately cut out, an empty bottle of liquor, sleeping pills, and a broken umbrella. Her body position was strange too, lying flat, with her arms tucked close to her sides, almost as if deliberately arranged. Nearby, detectives discovered footprints, but curiously, no signs of a struggle. No drag marks, no blood trail, no defensive wounds in the immediate area. It was as though the woman had either lain down willingly, or she had been carefully positioned after death. The fire that consumed her had been intense, yet not enough to destroy everything. Small personal items survived the flames, jewelry, pieces of clothing, and most disturbingly, prescription pill bottles scattered among the ashes. The immediate question was clear: who was she? But from the very beginning, the investigation was shrouded in mystery. When police examined her belongings, they uncovered a chilling detail. Everything that could have revealed her identity had been removed. The labels cut from her clothes, the fingerprints burned off her skin, even her suitcases, later found at a railway station in Bergen, contained nothing traceable to a name. It was as though she had been carefully erased from existence. The Norwegian press quickly named her the Isdal Woman. Investigators tracked her suitcases to Bergen railway station, stored neatly in a locker. The discovery of the suitcases was a breakthrough. Inside, they found more clothing, a silver spoon with its monogram filed off, wigs, cosmetics, a diary filled only with coded notations, and currency from multiple countries. Once again, the strangest detail was not what was found, but what wasn't. No passport, letters, IDs, or photographs. Not a single trace of her real name. And then there was the handwriting. The coded entries in her diary turned out to be a record of her travels. Hotel stays, train rides, ferry crossings. But each one was noted using a strange shorthand, as if written for her eyes only. Through the diary and hotel records, investigators realized she had checked into multiple hotels across Norway under at least 9 different names. Each time, she claimed a different nationality: Belgian, German, Danish, French. Each time, she switched up her story. Hotel staff remembered her well. She was strikingly beautiful, hard to miss. Well-dressed, often wearing stylish clothing and wigs that made her appearance hard to pin down. Some recalled her speaking Flemish, others German, still others English. Witnesses described her as reserved, but with an air of confidence, sometimes even secrecy. One hotel worker recalled her dining alone, carefully picking her meals and paying in cash. Another remembered her requesting a room change, insisting on a balcony. Some even claimed she seemed nervous, often glancing over her shoulder as if expecting someone. Her movements across Norway suggested she wasn't just a casual tourist. She moved deliberately, city to city, checking in under aliases, leaving just enough of a trail for police to reconstruct her path. But to what end? The autopsy revealed disturbing details. The woman was about 30 to 40 years old, in excellent physical shape, with dental work that suggested she had lived in several different countries. Her teeth bore signs of expensive dental procedures, common in places like East Asia and parts of Europe, but not in Norway. The pathologists also discovered soot in her lungs, meaning she was still alive when the fire started. She had inhaled smoke as her body burned. Traces of sleeping pills were found in her stomach, along with alcohol. Officially, the cause of death was listed as carbon monoxide poisoning and burns, a combination suggesting either suicide or murder. But if it was suicide, why erase her identity so thoroughly? Why the wigs, the coded notes, the multiple passports that no one ever found? By this point, the police suspected espionage. Remember, this was the Cold War era. Norway, though small, was strategically important. Its coastline faced the Soviet Union across the Barents Sea, and Bergen itself was near key NATO installations. The Isdal Woman's odd travel patterns, her multiple identities, the wigs, and the lack of any personal history all fit the profile of a spy. Witnesses even reported seeing her near military facilities and missile testing ranges. Some investigators became convinced she had been murdered to silence her. Others suggested she might have taken her own life to avoid capture. But if she was a spy, who did she work for? The East? The West? Or someone else entirely? Despite widespread media coverage, no one came forward to identify her. No family or friends, no missing persons report linked to her. Interpol distributed her description across Europe. Still nothing. It was as if she had been a ghost or someone from another timeline. Police artists created sketches of her face, showing her with and without wigs. These were published in newspapers, broadcast on television, and displayed at train stations. But once again, no one recognized her. Or if they did, they weren't willing to come forward. One witness, a Bergen shopkeeper, recalled selling her a coat. He described her as elegant, speaking English with a foreign accent. Another recalled her buying men's clothing, perhaps as a disguise. The deeper the investigation went, the stranger the story became. And then came another detail, whispered but rarely written down. Some detectives noted how the objects around her body almost looked staged. A broken umbrella, bottles, pills, clothing with labels cut away. It looked like a carefully constructed scene, meant to send a message. But a message to whom? Eventually, the official verdict was suicide. The pills, the alcohol, the fire. The conclusion was that she had ended her own life in Death Valley. But even at the time, many officers disagreed. Some openly said the case was closed too quickly, pushed aside perhaps because the truth was too uncomfortable. In the years since, journalists, historians, and even amateur sleuths have reopened the mystery again and again. DNA testing has been attempted and modern techniques applied, but still, no definitive identity has ever been found. The Isdal Woman remains nameless. So why does this case still haunt Norway more than 50 years later? Perhaps because the Isdal Woman forces us to confront the idea of a life lived in shadows. A life where identity itself was fluid, fragile, and disposable. She walked among people, dined at restaurants, smiled at hotel clerks, bought coats in busy shops. Yet she left behind no one to grieve her. She was erased in life and nearly erased in death. But not entirely. Her story lingers. The unanswered questions remain. Who was she? A spy? A criminal? A runaway? Or something stranger still? All we know for certain is this. On that cold November day in 1970, in a valley already burdened with death, the Isdal Woman lay down among the rocks and left behind one of the most enduring mysteries in modern history. What do you think happened to the Isdal Woman? Was she a spy caught in the crossfire of the Cold War or something else entirely? Share your theory in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want more mysteries like this one, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. And until next time, see ya.